happy Friday. It is already the end of January, which is insane. So hopefully you all are doing very well. We are going to jump right in to our January town hall. I have our ACA expert, Danielle Byers, with us, and we are going to talk about a few things that we hope are going to be very helpful to you here in 2025. And our big push for 2025 is all about diversifying your book of business. Um, and every year we push ancillaries, but this year we're going to be much more well-rounded about our diversification. It's going to do a lot of things for you, but it's all going to revolve around ancillary products, which are hospital indemnity, cancer plans, short-term home health care, dental, critical illness, plans like that. ACA, which is where Miss Danielle comes into play. She is our resident ACA expert. She's going to go over everything ACA SEP with you guys. So you have some enrollment options even after, I think open enrollment just ended, Danielle, on the 15th of this month. Look, I know something. So that's a bonus. She's going to go over other ways for you to enroll your ACA clients. And then we're going to talk a little bit about life and final expense and why those products are also important to you. The reason for this is diversification builds your book of business prior to people aging in. And if the client's already in your book of business, you have the ability to much more freely market to them. And the easier it is for you to market, the easier it is for you to build your Medicare book of business. And those are the renewals that you're going to be able to retire on. At least we hope, right? We're going to keep our fingers crossed. All these products complement each other. Everything we're going to talk about today, issues as low as age 18. And that will allow you to complement not only your Medicare book of business, but also those ACA clients that Miss Danielle is going to help you get into your book of business. All these things are going to make your income much more steady. And it will also protect your income in the event that a carrier decides to do something crazy. And we all felt that in the Medicare market this year when we had carriers just stop paying commissions. So we had a couple carriers that led the commission non-payments and even took away renewals. And then we had some carriers that, as AEP went, they decided to go ahead and pull some plans and those commissions as well. Diversification helps you avoid that sweat and that concern when things like that happen. So hopefully today will give you some reasons why you should pick up these additional products, starting with ACA, because I'm going to hand it over to Miss Danielle, and she's going to tell you all about our ACA SEPs.
Hey there, everybody. So, like Courtney said, open enrollment ended on the 15th, but you can write all during the year using the standard election periods or special election periods, I guess they're called. So, we're going to talk about these four main categories and all the things that fall in under there. I do want to start out with events that don't trigger an SEP first, because there are just a few of those. So if somebody voluntarily drops their coverage, that does not give them an SEP to buy a new plan. So if they were on the marketplace and they decided in March they didn't want to pay their premium, that does not give them an SEP to pick up again in April and start over. They would have to wait until they had another qualified SEP to get back on their coverage, or until open enrollment the following year. Okay, so termination for non-payment is not a trigger. Fraud, being terminated for fraud, that is not a trigger. If there is a divorce or a death in the family, If that loss does not cancel the coverage you are on, that does not give you an SEP to move. So if they can keep the coverage going and just remove the person, that does not give you an SEP. But if they were the primary, let's say they were um, the employed person and you were on an employee group, their death would give you a new SEP. Another one is moving. If you only moved for medical treatment or a short trip, such as a vacation or a temporary move, that is not an SEP. And changing from one legally present status to another. What does that mean? So, if you became a US citizen after you were already a lawfully present individual, that does not give you an SEP because you were already here lawfully present. Those are the only things that do not qualify as an SEP. Another thing I want to talk about real quick before we go into this SEP list is verification. So, whether your person is enrolling on the market or off the market, there is a verification process they must go through. They have to download documents showing that they actually had the change that they're claiming to have. There is a website, healthcare.gov, that everybody knows that you enroll people on. You can go in the search and look for documents to prove coverage. They will, there's an entire big list of things that you can submit. You have 60 days to submit them once you have applied using an SEP. But different things, a letter from the insurance company, a letter from your employer, your COBRA letter, a healthcare program document. If you get a letter from TRICARE or Medicaid or anyone ending your coverage, those things are acceptable. If you lost student health coverage, the letter showing that is acceptable. Other documents you can submit are pay stubs if you've lost your employer-sponsored coverage. Legal documents for separation, divorce, custody, things like that can be used. Documents showing you lost coverage due to the death of a family member. You can use the death certificate or the public notice of death. Those are proof for that. Lots of documents. But depending on how you enroll, if you're using the Health Sherpa that we recommend, you can attach the documents through Health Sherpa. You can also mail it or even fax it or upload it onto healthcare.gov. All right, so let's talk about all the different SEPs and how long they are good. Most SEPs, and I say most, are good for 60 days from the event date. So, a loss of minimum essential health coverage, you have 60 days from the day that coverage is lost to make an election and enroll. You do want to be a little careful on that because that if you wait the full 60 days, that could cause them to have a gap in their coverage. So you can apply for coverage using an SEP up to 60 days before it happens and then 60 days after it happens. The effective date of that new policy will be based on when you enroll. So, lots of other things to that work besides under loss of minimum coverage. Also, birth, adoption, foster care, child support, a lot of those things are SEPs. Sorry, all of those things are SEPs that work. So, loss of minimum, becoming newly eligible for an advanced premium tax credit due to changes in your current employer coverage, or becoming eligible for lesser uh, a lesser APTC or cost sharing reduction qualification. So basically, any change in income qualifies you. A change in household size, that can be marriage, divorce, birth, adoption, like I was saying. Um, Loss of qualified coverage can mean you lost your employer coverage, you lost um, you lost your Medicaid or CHIP, any kind of program like that. Those are all the expansions are narrowing down. So all of those things can cause a loss of minimum essential, loss of employer contribution. If the divorce causes a loss of coverage, all of those things qualify you for an SEP. If you gain or become a dependent, that gives you an SEP. Marriage gives you an SEP. Gaining access to a new qualified health plan due to a move, that gives you an SEP. All of those give you 60 days after the event, and they would all become um, effective on the first of the month after that event if you enroll before those. Um, if you were previously in a coverage gap and you became newly eligible for a tax credit, that gives you an SEP. If an off exchange enrollee experiences a decrease in household income and now becomes eligible for advanced premium tax credit, that is a 60-day SEP. Gaining or maintaining status as a member of a federally recognized tribe. So if you are recognized as either an Alaskan Native or an American Indian, and you just gained or maintain that status, you can use that as an SEP to qualify. One other thing about those federally recognized tribes is you also qualify for lower cost plans and more cost sharing coverage. So that's another one that is important. If you live in areas where there are a lot of a reservation or something for American Indians, we do have some agents that market in those type of areas, and that is a great place because they do need the help and they get the much lower cost plans. This one is not as common, but if you had a plan error or an enrollment area, that an enrollment error, I'm sorry, you get an SEP to re-enroll for 60 days. So if there was an experience with an error on the exchange, you can even get your SEP retroactive. If there was an experience where a plan contract had a violation, you can get an SEP with that. Also, material related errors to plan benefits, service area, or premium. So if you can show that you enrolled in a plan based on the information on the internet to enroll, such as your provider network, and that isn't correct information any longer, that can give you an SCP. These are a little more gray, but you can even get an SEP for an exceptional circumstance. That doesn't have an SEP code. You would have to call the marketplace and get approval. But that is one that helps out a lot of people. Domestic abuse or spousal abandonment is an SEP. Resolution of a dating match issue or a verification of citizenship issue, that is an SEP. And then if your employer is going to offer ICRA or QSERA, which are forms of an HRA where they put money in an account and help you pay your premiums, if that is a new option for you based on a new employer or a change with your employer, that also gives you the opportunity to enroll into a plan. There is a huge list of things that it covers. I know I've probably missed some, but I have charts I can provide for you. You can always call me. We can talk about them. But there is one new SEP I wanted to talk about before I finish. It is good for all of 2025. And the SEP is if someone lives in a household where their income is less than or equal to 150% of the federal poverty level. If that is the case, for the year 2025, the healthcare.gov and the federal government are allowing a monthly SEP for anyone to enroll. So that is a great one. We do have the federal poverty level charts on our website. Um, you can go on there and look at those. If you need them, call me. We can talk about it. We can go over your cases. I am happy to help you with anything you need to help get somebody enrolled with the SCP, Health Sherpa, any of the tools we have. We have training videos on our website. But please reach out to me. I would love to help you with your ACA business.
Hey, Danielle, I have a question. The
Please.
exceptional circumstances, could it be anything? Like it's whatever the person on the coverage would deem or needing the coverage would deem as exceptional, or are there some guidelines in there?
Most of the exceptional circumstances are um, a terminal illness diagnosis, things of that nature. But it is more gray than that. So you can always call healthcare.gov and talk to somebody in the exceptional circumstances area and try to get a special approval. They are very good about giving that kind of stuff if you do call and ask and give some details.
So basically, you have to advocate for yourself in order to get yourself an enrollment period.
You definitely do, but it's worth advocating to get yourself enrolled.
Absolutely. Guys, please, like Danielle said, if you have somebody who's in a circumstance where they don't think that they can get coverage, maybe they don't know what type of enrollment they qualify for, please give her a ring. She's great at finding enrollment periods. Same with any member of the NCC staff. If you can't get in touch with Danielle, give us a call. We'll track her down. We have no problem doing that. But any type of enrollment issue that you have, any type of questions that you have, be it ACA or otherwise, please give us a call. We're here to help you find ways to get your clients covered. So please don't hesitate to give us a ring. We're going to go ahead and jump over to some additional ancillary products that are going to complement your book of business. All these issue, again, ages 18 and up. Underwriting is applicable for most of these plans. Dental plans is really the caveat to that. There's not any underwriting with dental plans, at least not the ones that we offer. And we offer normal fee for service dental, which is, they're not going to just reimburse you like an indemnity plan would, but they'll cover things and make things like a crown more affordable. Maybe a crown would only cost you 50 to $100 instead of a few $100s. We also offer the indemnity plans. Those are not network based. So those are reimbursement plans, which make things a lot easier. I personally go to a dentist that doesn't accept insurance. I have an indemnity plan that allows me to get reimbursed after I negotiate a cash price. So it makes things a lot more affordable, gives your clients some choices as to where they want to go. And we have indemnity based dental plans that will cover up to $10,000 a year. So if you have somebody who's really in need of some pretty big dental work, that might be the plan for them. If you hear somebody say the word implants, that's a whole different story. Implants are very difficult to find coverage for, but if there's a medical need for them, it does become a little bit easier. So just like you would call Danielle for ACA questions, please give us a ring for any of your dental questions. We'll probably pepper you with questions, but we'll figure out what would be the best plan for that person. We have hospital indemnity plans, a lot of which are guaranteed issue from 64 and a half and up. Some of them don't even have a cap until like age 80 for the guaranteed issue. Others are capping at 70, and some cap at 74 for that guaranteed issue period. They will still issue underneath of that for your ACA clients. So those hospital indemnity plans are available at age 18, but you will have to answer the handful of health questions for that carrier. Keep in mind, if a carrier has more health questions than another carrier, it could lead to lower rates. Aetna typically asks more health questions than a GTL or a Wellaby, but their rates are a little bit better depending on the age bracket. So keep that in mind. If you have a healthy client, ask them more questions, get them a lower rate. If you have a client who's just aging into Medicare, you might need a guaranteed issue policy for them. So again, we're here to answer any questions that you have. We have term life plans. We have whole life plans. The difference in that is semi-self-explanatory. Whole life will cover you for your entire period of life. A term is just that. It's a set period. So it could be 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. Those are the most common term life plans. And we have a mix of underwriting. We have whole life plans that are, completely guaranteed issue. But again, that comes with a price. So if your client's able to answer health questions, maybe they're looking for a larger policy that would even require some blood tests and paramed exams. Whole life is definitely a great option, and we have the carriers that will fit those needs as well. We have a really cool product. It's called a transitional life plan. It's a mix between term and whole life. And the wording in the plan itself kind of alludes to what it is. So if you're somebody who's in their 30s or 40s and you just got a brand new house, you're probably going to need life coverage that's more heavy on the term side and lighter on the whole life. So you might need a term policy that's a 30-year term at a $500,000. Maybe that's what your house costs, and you want to make sure that if something ever happened to you, nobody has to worry about paying off your house. So that 30-year term at a 500,000 is going to be a great coverage option. And with a transitional life, you can also put a whole life policy with that term. And let's say you just want to do 20,000 to make sure that even after your term policy runs out, nobody has to worry about making sure that you can afford the funeral that you desire. And that transitional life allows for that. And then as your house gets paid off, maybe once you're in your 60s, you can turn that term portion into a whole life portion. It really allows for some give and take there without additional underwriting. And that's the key, because as we age, sometimes our health changes. And this is a type of product that would allow you to put more on the whole life side without getting any additional underwriting. So really interesting plan. If you have more questions about that, please reach out. We'll be happy to talk to you. And then, of course, cancer plans and critical illness. Everybody needs them, regardless of age. We never know what's going to come up as far as our health concerns are considered. Sounds like a horrible sentence, but that's the best I got today. So cancer plans, critical illness will allow for lump sum payments for the diagnosis to go treated. You can use that money to get treatments that may not be covered under your insurance, that may have some hefty price tags. Maybe you would like to try some treatments that are brand new, and I am at a loss for words. Danielle, what is the word? Um, that's a
Experimental.
There you go. It's experimental treatments. And those are becoming more and more popular. It really helps you open up your treatment options for cancer or even some different critical illness like a heart attack, stroke, etc. So please keep these plans in mind. They do come with minimal underwriting and they are lump sum policies. So um, you get a diagnosis, the policy pays out. It's very cut and dry, makes things a whole lot simpler for people to understand as well and more affordable. And then we have the last one on this page is our short term home health care plans. Underwriting for those are insanely simple. As long as you can do the 7 ADLs, you can qualify for a policy with short term home health care. And they even offer prescription reimbursements. So some of these carriers will allow you to get reimbursed for almost what the premium is per year. Some plans come with about $360 of potential prescription drug reimbursements. And a lot of the times that would be equal to or just slightly under the average premium per year on those plans. And I say per year because it's a yearly benefit on the drug reimbursements. Um, but the average premium cost for a short-term home health care, kind of basic policy, is going to be around that $30 to $40 per month mark. So 360 bucks a year would almost cover those premiums. These are all plans that we would love to have the ability to conversate with you about, to really dive into the education behind them. Because the deal is with these, they help your clients afford care that they might not have been able to afford if you wouldn't have offered them. So, affording $30 policy a month is a lot easier than trying to figure out how you're going to pay a $30,000 medical bill if you get an unfortunate diagnosis. So please make sure that you're talking to your sales development manager at National Contracting Center about these plans and in turn offering them to your clients. The worst that's going to happen is they're going to say, no, I can't afford that. You're going to say, okay, I just wanted to make sure that you knew it was available. In a couple months, they might change their mind. Maybe their situation changes, or they have a family member who gets an unfortunate diagnosis and they're willing to make the cuts in their budget to afford a plan so that they have that coverage. There's always a talking point with these type of plans, and everything listed on the screen in front of you, those are not controlled marketing products. So CMS doesn't care how you market them. The carriers offer you tons of marketing material that are at no cost for you to use. You can send them to your current client base. You can do mailers to brand new clients. You can do educational and sales events with these plans with no filings. So selling ancillary, ACA plans, those really do open you up to a whole different world of opportunity, and we'd like to be able to help you with that. So if you have any questions or want additional information, please reach out to the staff here at National Contracting Center, and we will be more than happy to assist you. And as always, we do really appreciate your time in joining us. We would love to hear from you. If you're having a success with something, something is really exciting to you, please give us a call. We'd love to hear that. If you're concerned about something, we'd like to talk about that as well. There are tons of unknowns right now. And we're more than happy to have those conversations with you to kind of ease your mind and help you prepare for the future, whether it's diversifying your book of business or simply having somebody talk you off the ledge because you heard something from a different FMO who might be a doomsday prepper. Give us a call. We'll talk you off the edge. We'll make sure that we're keeping everything as realistic and honest with you as humanly possible. If you need anything, please give us a call. Again, we do appreciate your business. We thank you for your time on this fine Friday. And if you need anything, we are here for you. Have a great day.